Hi, my name's Kim Wilson from Kula Studio, and I'm going to be taking you through a nice quick little level 1 workout with Pilates, applying the 5 principles. So this is a nice quick little, hopefully full body workout that you can do. Make sure that you've watched the fundamentals. You'll find that there's lots of movements that you will be able to do in Pilates, but if you're doing them right, they'll be a lot harder, which I think is more fantastic, because otherwise you'll just get bored if the movements are easier. So remember that you can always create your own resistance, and you're always playing working hard in Pilates is just like a stretch. You only go to a point where if other things start to kick in, a tension in your back, neck, or shoulders, then you've gone too far. So see how far you can challenge yourself without losing your technique. And that's the number one thing to remember. If it's easy, you're probably not doing it right. So let's start on our hands and knees. And curl your toes underneath you. And let's play with some protraction retraction. So you're going to find neutral with the shoulder blades. And we're going to, back of the neck presses to the sky, your ribs are tight, your core is drawn in, and you're going to protract, moving the shoulder blades away from the spine. And then you're going to retract without the rib cage popping. Keep the arms straight, try not to soften through the elbows, tighten the triceps. Push away from the floor, shoulder blades move away from the spine, and then find neutral. And then you're going to walk your knees back, press your hips forward, and find that stability again through your shoulder blades. So find neutral this time, spread the fingers, tighten the triceps, and you're going to get wider across the back by pushing away from the mat, and you should feel a nice burn across the medial border, the inside border of your shoulder blade, and then come back to neutral without the head sinking. It's subtle. And then again, push the floor away from you, get wide across the back. You should feel a nice burn. Shoulders are out of the ears, navel drawn in, and then come back to neutral. Let's do that one more time. Press away, get that nice spreading wide feeling across the back, and then come back to neutral and sit back towards your heels. And then rise in your angry cat, walk the knees forward, center your body. And you're in neutral again, ribs are tight, navel drawn in, back of the neck presses to the sky. Take a breath and exhale. You're going to lift both knees just an inch off the mat. So your core is really important here to stabilize the pelvis. You're going to start to feel a nice quad burn. What your body's going to want to do to cheat is it's going to want to come forward. You keep your weight back slightly. That also takes out the flexion in your wrists. Good. Hold here. Take a breath in. Keep the navel drawn in. And exhale. Lower the knees. Good. Shake everything out. Take a breath. Again, exhale. Lift those knees. Now you can stay here or find your core so the pelvis isn't meant to move. Maybe you float your right foot off the mat. Inhale, bring it down. Breathe first. Find your core. Left foot floats. Inhale, head is up. Exhale, right foot floats. Inhale, exhale, left. Inhale, hold. Exhale, lower down. Sit back over the heels. So of course, you can do that as many times as you like. And then rise in your angry cat. Let's push the hips forward. Find one long line. Stabilize the shoulder blades, and we're going to push up. Point the fingertips in slightly. Your hands are a nice wide grip, maybe a little wider than shoulder width. And you're going to lower down through a push-up. Press it up. Avoid the back going. Keep neutral. Think about your chest down first. Keep your gaze to the top of your mat. Try not to let the head go. So what tends to happen in push-ups is you can see my shoulder blades have collapsed and I haven't even bent my elbows. So if that means to keep the shoulder blades stabilized, if you move this much, great. It's going to be harder if you don't allow the shoulder blades to collapse. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Sit back into your child's pose. And that's your break. Come back into your plank. Bring your hands now directly under the shoulders, a little bit harder, more triceps. You're going to lower down, elbows touch the ribs. Make sure the shoulder blades don't collapse. So start small because we tend to let go. So bend the elbows, start really small. Press it up. Good. Inhale. Try not to let go through the back. Use your core. Exhale. Let's just do 3 more. Inhale. Feel your core help lift you up wide through the back. 2 more. Pull the navel in. Press it up. 1 more. Press it up. Sit back over the heels. Good. And last one. Come back to your plank. Bring your thumbs and your index finger together. Try and find a flat spot on the rock here. And elbows wide. Use your core. Where's the head? Where are the shoulder blades? Again, start small so you know you're stabilized first. That's more important than anything. So don't feel like going further is going to make things harder. If you do it right, that's going to make it harder. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. And sit back over your heels. Good. And let's come to a plank on your forearms. So 2 different ways you can do this. You can keep your knees down. And of course, the wider your legs are, the more stability you're going to give yourself. So if you want to challenge it a little bit more, bring the knees closer, further apart. Makes it a little easier, but not that much easier. And I want you to notice that you're not letting the back do this. So you're in neutral. Avoid squeezing your bum to help your core. And just really feel like your navel's pulling up. You're in neutral. If you can't get it out of your low back, either lift your bum higher or go into imprint, squeezing the ribs towards the hips. If you want to make it harder, got to find a good ground here. You're going to lift your knees off. And let's just hold here. Pull the navel in. Where's the head? Again, press the elbows away. Get wide across the back. And just hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. Lower the knees. Come back over the heels. Take some nice big breaths. Stretch into the shoulders. And then come back to your plank. So knees are up or down. And this time, you definitely want a wide stance with the legs. And knees are either up or down. Got to find a comfortable spot. And then hold there. Find your core. Your pelvis doesn't shift. Take a breath. And exhale. Just float that right leg up. So if the knees are bent, same thing. You float the leg up. Bring it down. Exhale, left leg floats. Inhale, exhale right. Inhale, exhale left. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and let that go. So let's rise in your angry cat, and then let's make our way down to the mat, and we'll come to our right side. So your bottom leg can be soft, and again, when you're on your side, you want to imagine it's exactly the same as if you were lying on your back. So we tend to want the head to come down. Stay nice and tall. You can soften your bottom knee and really get the feeling like you're pressing that left hip away from you. So what this should do is, it'll restrict your range of motion a little bit, but that's good because this is just your body giving in when the hip and rib. So by holding your neutral pelvis, think about a little ice cube between your belly and the mat. There should be a little bit of space there. That's going to force your glutes to work harder. So less is more. So you're nice and tall, your shoulders are relaxed, your navel's drawn in, you're not popping the ribs, they're gently soft, and you're going to bring that left leg parallel to the floor. And let's flex the foot, and you're just going to squeeze it up. Make sure the belly doesn't come down, and you come parallel to the floor. That's it. We're going to squeeze and down. And exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Nice and wide through the breath. Good. And of course, you can do as many of these as you like. Let's do 10. So let's do 4 more. Still reaching out of the heel. Keep the head nice and relaxed. 3 and 2 and 1 more. Good. And you're going to inhale, bend the knee in towards you. Try not to round through the low back. Stay in neutral. And you're going to extend that leg out in front of you. Point the toe, squeeze back into the glutes, but don't let go. So hold neutral. So how far back the leg goes is up to you. However far you can hold neutral. Inhale, bend the knee in towards you and extend. Exhale, squeeze it back. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Inhale, reach as close to your nose as possible, but not rounding through the back. Do a couple more. Reach. Squeeze back into those booty muscles. 1 more time. Exhale, squeeze. Come back to center. Little pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Where can you soften? Make sure the back, neck, and shoulders aren't kicking in. And now we're going to go into our glute med. We're going to point the big toe up and pulse. 10, 9, space here. 7, 6, shoulders soft. 5, little smile. 4, 3, 2, lift and let that go. Nice work. Give your bum some love, and then we'll do the other side. So everything's the same, and of course, each side is different. So again, remember that the way the body's going to cheat is your leg will lift high, but if this starts to let go, it's an illusion that you're actually getting more out of it. The most important part is that you're keeping this space open. You can even use your hand to feel like you're pressing the hip away. Reach away. And we're going to exhale, get that leg parallel, head is up, shoulders soft, core, space, and we lift. And lower. And lift. And I hope I counted to 10 on my first one, because sometimes I can't count to 10. And lift. 5 more. Keep all the connections. So remember, we're focused on where we want to feel this, and at the same time, we're focused on where we want to soften and relax. Very challenging to do both. So it's all about concentration and isolation. Let's do 1 more. And then we're going to inhale, bend the knee. So we're not rounding, we're staying heavy through those sit bones. Extend the leg out, point the toe, and squeeze back into the back glute. We're trying to get all the parts of the glutes. Inhale, reach. Exhale, squeeze it back. Inhale, reach. Exhale, good. Inhale, reach. Exhale, we'll do 2 more. Make sure the head's not coming forward. Stay tall. Pull the leg to you. Squeeze back into that glute. Let's do 1 more. Reach. Exhale, bring the leg to center. Little pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Feeling it here. Good. And then medial rotation or external rotation to feel the glute med for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Where can you soften? 3. Point up a little more. Keep that right hip forward. Don't let it drop back. Come parallel and let that go. Good job. And then we're going to come on to your back again. And you're going to find your neutral pelvis. Some leg work here. So when our hamstrings get pulled on, what tends to happen is it makes our low back come down. So I want you to stay true to your neutral pelvis. Remember that you never want your low back pressing into the mat. And we're going to inhale, bend the right knee to 90, extend the leg up only as high as you can. So if that's here, great, doesn't matter. Keep the quad active. Be aware that the weight of the right leg isn't letting the right hip get pulled over. You're just going to lower that right leg down. Your heel's going to kiss the mat, and you're going to inhale, float it up. Be aware that the left knee's not hanging. It's centered to the hip, and you're going to lower. Now, the way the body's going to cheat is it's going to whip the leg up, but we're going to go slow on the way up. When the leg lowers, we keep our core so that right hip isn't dropping, and we lift. Shoulders relaxed and float. Let's do 5 more. Use your breath. Exhale. Inhale. So in Pilates, we get the length, those nice elongated muscles, and the strength. Eccentric contractions, concentric contractions. 1 more. Hold here. Point to the right. Bring your head up. Look at your pelvis. Make sure the right hip hasn't dropped. And we pulse. Look at the left knee tracking for 10. So you're really trying to shine that inner thigh up to the sky. Then bring the head down. And 7. Where can you soften? 6. 5. And exhale. 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Now point in for 10. 9. Make sure it's coming from the thigh, not just from the ankle. And we slow it down. The back is soft. And 6. Make sure you get the length. The leg comes all the way down. 4, 3, and 2. Last one. Bring the leg parallel. Float that leg up to the sky. Finish strong and let that go. Shake it out. It's harder than it looks. Who knew the leg could be so heavy? Stay in neutral. Everything's soft. Your neck is lengthened. If you feel like your chin is always coming up, that's a sign you might need something underneath your head, just a little towel or something. Inhale, bend the left knee to 90, extend that leg up. Play that tug of war. How far can you pull the leg to you without the low back jamming? And you lower, not letting the left hip drop. Right inner thighs active, and you lift. Lower and lift. Good. Draw the navel in. Remember, with our core, we're just stabilizing. We're not working our core, not like in that plank that we did. Where can you soften? Remember not to whip it up on the way up. 3 more. And 2. 1 more. Lower down, point to the left. Be aware of the right inner thigh. Look at the hips, make sure the hip hasn't dropped. And we pulse for 10. And 9. You're relaxed everywhere else. 8. And 7. 6. Keep breathing. 5. 4. Nice and slow. Really point that inner thigh up. 2. 1. Point in for 10 from the thigh. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. Make sure the ribs aren't popping. 3. 2. Last one. Bring the leg parallel. Float that leg up to the sky. Bend the knee and let that go. Give your legs a shake. Nice work. Place your feet together. So your big toe mounds are touching, your heels are touching, and you're holding a piece of paper between your knees. Let's start in neutral. Go through imprint. Squeeze the ribs to the hips. Push into the feet. Squeeze your bum. And we're going to roll up vertebrae by vertebrae into a shoulder bridge. So again, take a look, make sure that the hips are higher than the ribs, not that the ribs are higher than the hips. So we want to avoid compression in the low back. If you have a tail, you're trying to put it between your legs. And we're going to inhale, lower down just a little. Squeeze your bum and lift. Inhale, I hear Rifflandia. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Inhale, knees together. Keep the hips higher than the ribs. And it's a tiny lower. Squeeze. The knees stay together. And lift. And now we're going to do little tiny pulses. Squeeze for 10. Don't let those knees come apart. 9. Squeeze your butt. 8. 7. Ribs are tight. 6. Make sure nothing's tensing. 5. Knees together. 4. Shoulders soft. 3. 2 more. Knees squeeze. Last one. Squeeze. And let that go. Let the knees open wide. So it's the exercises that are the most subtle, where it looks like you're doing nothing. But by creating your own resistance, by staying true to the 5 principles, you'll find you're going to feel so much more. And this way, your body stays safer. All right, let's work our core again. So you're going to place your hands behind your head, and let's find imprint. So we squeeze the ribs to the hips. Remember, we never jam our low back down. We bring one leg to tabletop, and then the other. Take a breath, nod through the chin, and exhale, bring your head and shoulders off the mat. Now remember, to make it easier, you can always bring the knees closer to you. If your neck kicks in, you can always bring your head down. Here's nice because you're supporting yourself. Just hold here, take a breath, and exhale, turn your right armpit to your left knee. So this isn't a turn of the head, it's about coming up to the knee as high as you can without pushing your back down. And hold here, 2 more breaths. This is easier, this is harder. Come back to center, pull that navel in, wide breath, you're holding your contraction. Left armpit for 3 to the right knee. 3 breaths, inhale, 2 breaths, inhale, 1 more, come back to center, turn to the other side. 2 breaths, inhale, keep coming up to the knee, and 1 more, come back to center, knees together, 2 breaths to the right. Make sure you're not overturning the head, come up a little higher, come back to center, 1 each side, right armpit to the left, inhale, knees together, left armpit to the right, inhale, lower down, the ribs stay tight, and take a break for a second. Give yourself a big stretch. And then let's do another core exercise. So let's find imprint again. Again, think less is more. Bring one leg to tabletop, and then the other. And hands behind your head, and you're going to take a breath and exhale, bring the head and shoulders off. So here's that line through the rib cage. So small, you're going to take a breath and you're going to curl over the ribs, and you're going to open the tiniest little amount. Curl. Open the tiniest amount. Exhale. I'm not pushing my head forward. It's my core bringing me forward. 2 more. Inhale. This is a good one. Exhale. Hold here. Take a breath. And exhale. You're going to lift your bum off. And then inhale back to 90. Let's do that again. Exhale, like you're gonna go into a reverse somersault. I'm not using my legs as momentum. It's like you're exaggerating imprint. Stay up over the ribs, don't drop back. Get your lower abdominals. I can't go up very high because I'm on a rock. Like, feel the good. I've got a rock in my spine. 1 more, exhale, squeeze and lower the head down, ribs are tight. And let that go. Give yourself a nice big stretch. Lengthen the legs out. Float both arms up towards the sky. Feet are flexed. Nod through the chin. Feel your armpits pulled to your hips as we go through a nice roll up. And just enjoy a nice stretch and a nice forward fold. And then ragdoll your way up. And bend your knees. If you're at home and you have a towel or a block or just something to go between your knees, that's a really nice connection. So remember that your inner thighs work with your pelvic floor, work with your transverse abdominis. So there's a nice network of muscles working together. So by engaging your inner thighs, it's going to help you find your core easier too. So it's up to you. Legs are hip width. Maybe you have something between your knees. You're going to take a breath, sit nice and tall, and exhale. You're going to, instead of just slouching, you're going to squeeze your ribs towards your hips, and you're trying to create an ice cream scoop through your belly. How far back you lean is up to you. Keep the belly flat. Take a breath so small, you're just going to curl over the ribs. Inhale again. It's not my head coming forward. I'm increasing my thoracic spine, my thoracic flexion curve. Exhale. so small. Open to your starting position. 2 more. It doesn't look like I'm doing much, but I am. 1 more. Exhale. Inhale, hold here and curl forward. Enjoy this rest. And last but not least, we'll add 1 on. So come back into that nice rounded spine. So remember, of course, the further back you go, the harder this will be. What's important is that you keep these lower abdominals. You've probably already noticed, super easy to feel the obliques. Keep the transverse pelvic floor. That's your biggest focus. Okay, so you're back in that nice curve. Let's bring our hands in front of our forehead this time. Take a breath in. The pelvis doesn't change, and all you're going to do is exhale. Lift the heart and chest, and then you're going to round back into that thoracic, and you're going to lift the heart and chest. Exhale, round. If it's too much, come up higher, and lift. If you want it harder, come back, and nice straight back. 1 more time, and lift, and round. Pull that navel in, and then curl your body forward. And let that go. We're going to do 1 more exercise. So we're going to come on to our belly. All right, so we're going to place our hands underneath our forehead. Legs are open, shoulder width. Feel your navel pull up away from the mat. Hands under your forehead, focusing on your upper back. Take a breath, slide your shoulder blades down in a V towards your spine, and you're going to exhale. Just barely bring your torso to a hover. Keep your core connected. Shoulders out of the ears is the most important. And now maybe you lift the legs up. Hold here. Feel the whole back side. Don't bend at the knees. Straighten those legs. Press the back of the knees to the sky. And then let that go. We'll do that 1 more time. Slide the shoulder blades down. Pull the navel in. First set the shoulders, core, lift the upper body. And then, whoa, I'm on a rock. Maybe you add the legs on. And 2 more breaths. Pull that navel in, shoulders soft. If you feel your low back, come down. Find your core and let that go. And press yourself up. Sit back into your child's pose or your shell stretch in Pilates. And you're done. Nice work, everybody.